Spiritual Time, the Odes of Solomon, Ode 9. Open your ears, and I will speak to you. Give me your souls, that I also may give you my soul. The word of the Lord and his good pleasure, the holy thought which he has devised concerning his Messiah. For in the will of the Lord is your salvation, and his thought is everlasting life, and your end is immortality. Be enriched in God the Father, and receive the thought of the Most High. Be strong and be redeemed by his grace. For I announce to you peace to you his saints. God's thought is repeated throughout the Odes as a thought, plan, design of redemption for man. This thought was revealed by God's Word or Son, moving and expressing himself in the sons of men, especially in the promises to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob of the promised seed, Jesus. We can see this from Galatians chapter 3 and verse 16. Now to Abraham were the promises given, and to his seed. He saith not unto seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ. Philo of Alexandria calls Abraham, Isaac and Jacob measures of Aeon, that is to say, praises of God's thought of redemption as it was developed through faith, joy and righteousness. Philo of Alexandria speaks of Aeon as being in the life of God what time is in the life of man. Time is measured by physical motion, but Aeon by spiritual motion. Spiritual motion can only be conceived of by us men as thought. It is God's thought. Philo of Alexandria again says that time, being measured by the motions of the physical cosmos, may be called son of cosmos, but only the grandson, not the son of God, who is the father of cosmos, that is the universe. Aeon, he says, is the archetype of time. We might be disposed to say that it must be measured by the motions of God's thought, but he thinks of God's thought as never past or future, but always present. In Aeon, nothing has passed away, nothing is future, but everything simply subsists. We can see this from Psalm 90 and verse 4. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night. And we can compare this with the second letter of Peter, chapter 3 and verse 8. But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. God combines past, present and future in a motion that is also rest. For Philo of Alexandria, Aeon does not mean infinite in time, but he that is graciously giving always and continuously. In other words, infinite in his scope of graciousness, so that no limit of space, time or thought can be attached to it. For Philo, the heroes of Israel are the incarnate thoughts of God, the progressive phases of God's foreordained redemptive purpose expressed in human beings. It represents spiritual lives, which Philo says are measures of Aeon. When Abraham believed, nothing outward and visible took place then, but inwardly and invisibly a new spiritual period began, the period or age Aeon of faith. Such an age is not measured by days or years or by time at all, for time depends on physical, Aeon on spiritual motion. So to summarize then, the divine Aeons are not in time and space, the Aeons of the Father. They always have been, and they are, and they always will be, as they are part of God. It's just our thought or knowledge of the existence of the true Father brings about the creation of those things, the beginning of those things for us. You see, but they always were, those vital forces or those essences always existed, emanating from God.